I'm Anna Kate Hughes.
I'm Casey Johnson.
I'm Emily Brown.
And we did our research on the influence of family relationships on alcohol use and risky behaviors. Our hypothesis was that students who engage in more risky behaviors tend to have a less positive relationship with their families. And we based that hypothesis on several researchers. We first looked at Wong, Chen, and Wu, and they did research on children and said that children who had a closer relationship with their families were less likely to engage in risky behaviors. And then Booth and Seidlinger did other research showing open communication with parents, and students who had open relationships tended to not engage in as many risky behaviors. And then research from Florida's and his colleagues stated that more dysfunctional families and college students increases the likelihood of risky behaviors.
Our population consisted of undergraduate students from the University of North Georgia who volunteered to participate in our survey. Participants were rewarded a half hour of credit upon completion of the survey. The study consisted of 73 students, which was predominantly female at 80% with an average age of 19 years old. The survey questions were regarding family relationships, inclination to engage in risky behaviors, as well as the demographics of the participant. There were 25 questions. All data was collected confidentially through Qualtrics.
For our results, it was hypothesized that university students with healthy family relationships would report in engaging in less risky behaviors. However, this hypothesis was not supported. Data was analyzed by Pearson correlation and a one-way analysis of variance. There was a significant correlation between students' academic status and their reports of being able to rely on their family members. Several variables of interest were significantly correlated with being involved in a Greek organization, including being more likely to miss class, more likely to engage in criminal activity, and more likely to engage in alcohol use per week. The use of illicit drugs was significantly correlated with class absences and with gender. Those who engaged in mere illicit drug use in general and per day were more likely to miss class than those who did not engage in the use. Males were also more likely than females to engage in illicit drug use. There was a significant positive correlation between alcohol use and criminal behavior, such that those who reported drinking more per week were more likely to report engaging in criminal activity. Age was significantly positive and correlated with use of protection during sexual activity. Older participants were more likely to use protection than were younger participants. Those who engaged in sexual activity more often were more likely to use protection. Those who reported their family was willing to help them make decisions and that their family was a positive influence were more likely to go home than those who did not report these to be true of their family. There were no other correlations, including demographic variables or variables of interest in the study.
So some things that could have skewed our data to make us have no significant results would be the fact that we had an overwhelming amount of freshman participants compared to the other classes at this university. We had no senior participants. So freshmen, first of all, they could have been afraid to answer honestly on the survey. Even though it says it's anonymous, they may think it could be tracked back to them. They also might have just been afraid to miss class or afraid to go out and engage in these risky behaviors because they may not know their colleagues well enough yet to trust them enough to go out and find the places in the nightlife to engage in these behaviors. Another thing that could have skewed our data is the culture on this campus. So Dahlonega, UNG and Dahlonega has a very conservative campus climate. So if this study was conducted at Georgia Southern or University of Georgia, some bigger college campus, it could have had significantly different results.
The end.